like when they cue my mic up before they actually come to us here online. That's always fun. I try to keep it topical. Outnumbered overtime. Oh, gee, baby.
All right, it's up now.
We're here.
Back in the Facebook has had some problems the past couple of days, but it is up now. So
Facebook Live.
Join
Our
either venue.
Is Outnumbered FNC, Fox News channel for the cool kids. It's FNC. And, of course, a lot of people joining us online on our webpage on foxnews.com/outnumbered. Click on the overtime tab.
If Chris was any good, it'd be a record
Jump
number.
onto the live chat because we want to get chatty with you. Inquiring minds want to know.
Hit me.
Chris Darwell.
Hit me.
These Southernisms that you have.
I'm not a Southerner.
No, but you have
Are you
these
above the
sayings.
Mason-Dixon line?
I am from West Virginia. West Virginia is not a Southern state.
But you have
West
these
Virginia-
sayings.
Correct.
Well, now most of
So what are they?
Most of the best of my
And we love West Virginia.
of my
Starwaltisms?
okay, well, I wasn't going to claim them, but my dad grew up in Springfield, Illinois, but his family was from the Wabash River Valley of Southern Illinois.
Yes.
And buddy, I tell you what, they got some real stuff down there. So phrases like, when I grew up and I went to school, I thought that other people said things like "Holy Crocono," and I thought that other people, I thought that other people said things like my grandfather had said, which was, "I wouldn't do that to see the Last Supper with the original cast." There were all kind of things that people said down there that I thought were normal and that everybody's dad talked about. Of course, my father also lied to us and said that he went to grade school with Abraham Lincoln, and my sisters.
I think Hillary Clinton actually did.
Bernie Sanders. My sisters actually believed him and went to school and disagreed with their teacher and said, no, my dad went to school with Abraham Lincoln. There was a guy named John Wilkes Booth who picked on him.
Oh, wow. That's his real name?
No. My dad was lying, as every parent should, lie to their children for fun and profit.
Got it.
So one from my side of the family, and I say it like that because my husband's from Arizona, and he doesn't have all this, but my family's from Texas. And
you got it all. You got
and
double.
You guys hear me say it all the time. You know, it's the, and now I can't remember what it was. Oh, don't do anything that I wouldn't do twice.
Don't do anything I wouldn't
Between
do
now and the next time I see you. Do you have one? Just like a saying
Southern,
from, anything from
a family way.
No, but I do radio, as you know, and I was told that I sound like a Valley girl. And on occasion, and there were epithets I had to tweak a little bit. Like I don't say rad anymore on the show. I don't say I used to say that's dope. I had to stop saying all of it because it just can't work.
Those are fine projections.
I am sure.
So my dad is from Southern Indiana, which is also very rich with the same kind of witticism.
Deep with hillbilly BS.
And he would say, you know, when he was giving me dating advice in high school, which I abhorred, he would say, just remember, you can marry more money in 10 minutes than you can make in a lifetime.
I like that.
his aggressive
pragmatism.
pragmatism.
That's what I'm talking about.
And you know, he'd also say things like, how you doing, Dad? I'm busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
There's that one. The one-arm paper hanger.
I'm sure they did.
Spikester0 says, I'm a Southerner from Southern West Virginia. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm sure all hat, no cattles is in your repertoire.
No, that's Texas. That's
that's
theirs.
Texas.
I went to
That's a
school
real
down in
Texas
Louisiana, so I've got Louisiana and
Please
Texas.
drop some.
Some are really inappropriate.
Some are very
I won't
inappropriate.
share.
We're online.
But thank you for logging on.
Pound sack.
Facebook Live is rolling. I'm
We
trying
have
to.
a lot of people on the live chat right now.
And Southern West Virginia, by the way, to your viewer's point, is the South. That is the South. South of the Kanawha River is the South.
Is the Mason-Dixon line Virginia?
Mason-Dixon line is the northern border of Maryland and southern border of Pennsylvania.
If I like your posting on our live chat, it means that I'm going to read it. Dean6559, Trey Gowdy for Attorney General. Comments?
I like that. I love Trey Gowdy.
I like that better than Rudy Giuliani or Chris Christie.
You would have to give Jeff Sessions, if he wants it, the inside track for Attorney General.
And a deep loyalist from the beginning.
A deep loyalist from the beginning.
Ally in Congress.
And a former prosecutor, a former Attorney General in Alabama, a guy who has deep understanding of the law. So you'd have to give him the inside track. And the other question about Gowdy is, do you want, and this is something that presidents really have to ponder, do you want to strip your party's bench, and do you want to deprive your party of the services of these people in their current jobs? One of the complaints that people had about George W. Bush when he came in was that as a former governor and former, I believe, chairman of the Republican Governors Association, he went and stripped the whole Republican bench. He took these people for these positions inside his cabinet, and then they had to repopulate in the states, and sometimes in difficult circumstances. So somebody like Trey Gowdy's doing a good job for the Republicans right where he is.
Who's on Facebook? Are they giving us shout-outs? I love it when they do that.
Yes, a lot of people like the Trey Gowdy idea as well. A lot of, I tell you what, I really like Chris Darwalt as our one lucky guy, so we appreciate that. I'm sure you're probably doing a bit of talking about Treasury Secretary. Do you think it's going to be this Goldman Sachs veteran?
It wouldn't surprise me, but it's very Paulson-esque. And I don't know if we want a repeat of that sort of institutional cronyism, because I think it's difficult to get away from that, especially when that name is so indelibly linked with economic corruption. For one reason or another.
Yeah.
Kennedy doesn't really speak her mind.
She does throw horseshoes, doesn't she?
She's shy.
She does throw horseshoes.
We have to pull it out of her.
Yeah. And this is why Charlie Hurt, who was on her telecast the other night, he had not been on your show before, I don't think.
Yeah.
And he said, she's dangerous. I like her. Aww. So this is what we like about you. My question, and I have not looked at his background closely enough, and it is hard for me to pronounce words that start with an M and an N next to each other.
Munchin.
What's that?
I think it's the N silent. Munchin. Right?
Yep,
okay.
Munchin.
So for Steve Munchin, he doesn't look to me like a super typical Goldman Sachs guy. He looks like he has some interesting venture capital stuff, and he was a movie producer. So he's sort of like Bannon worked at Goldman too, but he's a different guy.
He has a long history.
To fortify Treasury and diminish the power of the Fed by ending it, I don't have a problem with that at all. I would be very curious to see what his view on the Fed is. But again, I would love to see President-elect Trump put people in positions of power who have those strong beliefs.
No, it wasn't just him, Goldman Sachs, too. I think his father was like a 30-year veteran of Goldman Sachs as well. Other than that, it was Jamie Dimon throwing around.
Which
I was like,
be very
he doesn't like Donald Trump at all.
Real populism.
He doesn't, and he is also very pro-democratic, which, I understand if you actually make Rick Grinnell the U.S. ambassador to the UN,
I saw that
who would be the first openly gay person in that position. And you also have a Democrat, a world-renowned banking scion running the Treasury Department. I think it's very interesting.
You know what we don't talk about, and I would like to, and I want to get your thoughts on the First Lady.
Me?
Yeah, I mean, your mom has been a First Lady of the great state of Arizona, and we look at Melania Trump, and I mean, I know people talk about her fashion, but we have gotten to know her a little bit from recent interviews.
I would emphasize, if I were her, that she fled a communist country, or she left a communist country to come to the United States, and she's reaped the benefits of being an immigrant that has come to the United States. Everything I've seen about Melania, there's nothing to not like about her so far. She hasn't been on the campaign trail as much as I would have liked. We talked about that during the show, I think, because she was treated so badly after the convention. So I think there's a great opportunity for her. Of any issue I ever had with Donald Trump, nothing ever had anything to do with Melania.
You mean after her speech that sounded a lot like...
people were really cruel to her. And again, I'm very protective of obviously daughters and wives of politicians, and I think the media has been particularly harsh to Melania Trump for whatever reason, other than she was married to Donald Trump and she's beautiful. And I think there's a great opportunity.
It's hypocritical.
I mean,
she's an immigrant.
Yeah, and you talk about that, and will that be her main cause when she's First Lady? Because you look at Laura Bush and what she did with literacy, and Michelle Obama. With that,
she has said cyberbullying.
People should be polite online.
Yeah, I'm sorry?
She said people should be polite online.
Well, and she's talked even more about some of the times that she disagreed with her husband. I mean,
did you see Leslie Stahl's leading question?
I hear all the jokes with people, but I mean, that's a real...
I also think
out of any other context... That's an important issue.
I don't know why people, and again, I think it's really harsh. I think if that's the cause that inspires her, and from my understanding, it was talking about bullying of young children as well on the internet. I think that's a very modern cause. I think she's a great spokeswoman for it. You keep making faces every time I open my mouth, Chris Direwalt. Do you disagree with me that it's a bad cause for her?
Well, the causes that these First Ladies undertake are fine. Michelle Obama got her husband in a little trouble.
By the garden? By growing stuff in the garden?
No, the garden's fine. She got her husband in a little bit of trouble with the
nutritional standards?
and the obesity stuff, and the kids throw their lunches away.
She wanted to force it on schools.
And successfully did, and that'll be one thing, by the way, that the Trump administration almost surely rolls back.
Are you dancing, Miss Fancy?
Oh, well, I wasn't on camera when I was.
But
I just wanted to say thank you, Chris Dyer.
Heck yeah. Are you kidding me?
Congratulations to Megan McCain on your week as co-host.
Absolutely.
Yay. Okay.
You were like trending on Twitter yesterday, by the way.
Thank you.
So congrats.
What can I say?
Obviously, everything.
Okay, thanks.